Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar for the University of London's Bachelors of Science in and Marketing programme with Coursera. My name is Matt, and I'm an enrolment counsellor here at Coursera. Joining me today, we have Ankit, a fellow enrolment counsellor, who will be answering your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll have Naomi from Coursera Marketing helping behind the scenes. In today's webinar, we have a great session where we'll be looking at the general overview of the Bachelors and the University, studying and the Coursera platform, the admission requirements, application process, tuition fee, and degree recognition, as well as the graduation. We will end the webinar with a live Q&A session with Mohammed, who is one of our current students who will be here to answer your questions. In the meantime, please drop your questions into the Q&A box below as we go along, and Ankit will be answering these questions, and any other questions we have, we will try to answer at the end. In the next slide, we're going to watch a quick video about the BSc Marketing from the University of London. Now, let's get started. Thank you. The University of London was founded in 1836 and is one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in the UK. There are over 50,000 students in 180 plus countries studying over 100 degrees, diplomas and certificates. The programme is led by academics at the Royal Holloway School of Business and Management, which is one of 17 independent federation members of the University of London. Royal Holloway is ranked in the top 30 universities in the UK and the top 350 universities in the world for world-class research. The programme has been designed to encourage intellectual curiosity, whether you're currently working within the sector or seeking opportunities in a new field. This programme provides a foundation for understanding and the diverse interdisciplinary nature of marketing and business administration. If you're looking to work for an international company or crave the opportunity to be mobile during your career, this will be the invaluable learning experience. You will walk away with an internationally recognized qualification and a global mindset as a result of studying across borders with colleagues from around the world. There are 2 cohorts every year, April and October. Next start date is October the 9th, 2023. Next slide, please, Naomi. Next, we will look at studying online. So for the curriculum, the Bachelor's is comprised of 4 stages. Stage 1, there are 4 compulsory modules. The first is Foundations of Quantitative Methods for Sustainable Organizations. In this module, you'll be familiarized with qualitative and quantitative studies and how they can be employed in management, economics, and for sustainable business. The main topics of this module include data presentation, measures of central tendencies and variation in index numbers, probability, political economy, natural resources and economic theory, and sustainability and climate change. Then you'll move to interpreting management, market and consumptions. In this module, you'll be introduced to marketing in the context of interpreting management as both an academic discipline and as a practice. And the main topics you'll look at are the marketing systems under capitalism, brands and branding, marketing beyond profit, critical thinking, reading, analysis, and organization theory. And then you'll move on to information systems and organizational studies. This module offers an introduction to information systems and organizational studies. The main topics in this module will be information systems and employability, the e-business and collaboration, databases and information management, fundamental issues in organizational studies, managing and managers, and organizational culture. And you'll end with international business and accounting. And in this module, you'll be introduced to subjects of international business and accounting with topics such as globalization, foreign direct investment, trade flows and international trade theory, measuring and reporting financial performance, analyzing and interpreting financial statements, and making capital investment decisions. Next slide, please, Naomi. In stage 2, there are also 4 compulsory modules. They are employability and human resource management. In this module, you'll be introduced to career development and human resource management. And your main topics will be skills and skill development, using social networks in your job and internship hunt, networking, what is HRM, strategy and HRM, and HR planning. The second module will be strategic management and accounting, where you'll be introduced to strategy and the use of accounting information by managers in organizations, with topics such as strategy and strategizing, historical threads and strategy development, mergers, acquisitions and alliances, and cost volume profit analysis. You'll look at operational management and marketing strategies, where you'll look at the marketing and managing strategies. The main topics in the module will be design of operational networks, operational strategy, inventory planning and control, and marketing analysis. And then you'll end the module with marketing research and digital consumer culture, in a module that will look at research and digital marketing, as well as planning research, secondary data and natural resources, managing data collection, fundamentals of digital marketing, and DM strategy and implementation. Next slide, please, Naomi. Stage 3 has 3 modules: integrated management, business, leadership, and innovation, which draws together what you've learned over the entire program so far. You'll look at introductions, the business context, reputation and responsibilities of management in the 21st century, and sustainable and responsibility within ethics, implications of the strategic management, innovation as a core business process, building the innovation organization, design into innovation and internship. And then your second module will be contemporary issues in the consumer behavior of global marketing, where you'll develop a critical understanding of consumer behaviors and global marketing, with themes such as consumer choice and consumer rationality, perception, attitudes, beliefs, and motivations, global marketing, globalization, neo-colonialism, and global orchestration of consumer behavior. You'll follow this with brands, branding, and advertising, where you'll look at branding as well as providing you a strategic perspective on contemporary models of marketing. You'll look at an introduction for branding and brands, evolution of branding, characteristics of brands and rationale for branding, advertising and promotion under media coverage, the changing landscape for advertising under digitalization, and advertising theory. Next slide, please, Naomi. And then there are also 3 optional stage 3 modules. International Human Resource Management. In that module, you'll examine practical examples and the latest research in human resource management. You'll also look at the individuals at work and globalization, where you'll gain an overview of contemporary subjects of interest in the field of organizational behavior and examining the impact of globalization on the work. And then the third one is emerging markets and Asian Pacific business. This module examines emerging markets, commercial realities, and national cultures within the context of global economy, in the context of the global economy. Next slide, please, Naomi. I'm sure most of you are already have some experience with Coursera, but for those of you who don't worry. It's very easy to figure out. I'll walk you through the main points and feel free to ask more questions about this during our live Q&A. The Bachelor's in Marketing program is delivered entirely online through Coursera. You'll be able to access all of the materials needed for your studies at any time as long as you have internet connection. This means most of the time you can study at your own pace. The BSc in Marketing degree can be completed in 3 to 6 years. Each module is studied over 22 weeks, and one module requires an average of 10 to 12 hours of directed learning per week for each module. Modules run once a year, and there are resit opportunities when available. You can choose how many modules to study in each session, up to a maximum of 2 new modules, or 3, including a resit or repeat. The time commitment will vary from student to student, but as a guide, you should allow 300 hours for each module to be studied through a 22-week study session. With 2 modules per session, you'll be able to complete the degree in 3 years. This means you'll be studying for 60 credits in each session. That equates to approximately 600 hours. Over 22 weeks of each session, you'll need to dedicate for 2 modules around 24 to 30 hours of study per week. You'll also need to regularly check your university student portal. The student portal is a gateway to all your additional learning resources. There you'll find all the most up-to-date information, including registration dates, exam dates, as well as the wonderful resources to support your development, such as well-being material, career development exercises, and student support services. Next slide, please, Naomi. To help you better understand how the learning process works on Coursera platform, let me walk you through a sample course from the University of London. The program is designed to fit learners' personal schedules, allowing them to study online at their own pace and vary their course load every term. Learners can access their courses from anywhere by downloading them to their mobile devices and studying offline whenever or wherever they choose. There is no live attendance required. Once you log into the Coursera platform, you'll see the courses you've registered for on your dashboard, and you'll notice that the coursework is broken down into weeks. Each week will have a pre-recorded video lectures, quizzes, and interactive activities. Learners watch pre-recorded video lectures and complete quizzes and programming assignments. There is a final exam at the end of each module. All coursework is self-paced except for midterms and final exams. Learners can find the deadlines for these course syllabuses. Learners can find their exam timetables in the student portal. The university provides learners with all of the resources and study materials needed to complete the program successfully, including the essential recordings, readings, and everything else you'll need for each module. Learners will have access to their resources through the virtual learning environment and Coursera. Students collaborate on group projects using Zoom and Slack. Slack is a cloud-based instant messaging service, and Zoom is a video conferencing software. Online tutors hold tutorials and webinars, providing support and guidance throughout each study session. You'll also have online student relationship managers who will guide students through their learning journey. The student guide is there to provide information which is common to all students and gives information about matters of importance from the start of the student's relationship with the university through to their graduation. You'll also have access to the online library. This provides a range of full-text, multidisciplinary databases where journal articles and ebooks can also be found. Next slide, please, Naomi. Now, let's look at how the assessments for this program work. The minimum duration for this program is 3 years, which is a standard length of a bachelor's degree in the UK. But since the degree is flexible, you can vary your workload. The university gives you up to 6 years to complete all of the required modules at your own pace. You will have a hard deadline for some assessments and final exams, which will be highlighted in the syllabus you receive. Here, I would also like to mention that all assignments are online. Each module of the marketing program is assessed by 2 elements of assessment. The first one comprises 4 multiple choice questions, MCQs, taken at 5 weekly intervals throughout each 22-week study session. They will contribute 30% towards your final grade. The remaining 70% of your grade will come from the assessments and the assessed elements, 2 of which is a 3,000-word final online examination held at the end of each session. They'll be held around September and March. Also, some modules have group work where you need to work asynchronously with your peers, so please plan for that as well. You will receive plenty of support within the program. The VLE, or virtual learning environment, on the Coursera platform is where you'll find your lessons, activities, assignments, and additional study resources. You will also have the opportunity to join online tutorials with the University of London professors, who will be there to provide you with support and guidance throughout each study session. These tutorials are not mandatory to attend, but I do highly encourage you to do so. Each tutor has their own group of students to make sure you feel fully supported along with this program. For any non-academic inquiries, such as course advising, you can reach out to the online support team who will guide you and advise you, helping you fit your studies around your work, family, and other commitments. Next slide, please. Hopefully, you now have a clear understanding of what studying online is like. Now let's look into the general admission requirements and the documents you will need to submit your application. In order to qualify for your application, you must be aged 17 or older on the registration deadline date, which is September the 25th. The University of London accepts qualifications from all over the world. I encourage you to use this link that Ankit is now going to share in the chat to review your country's qualifications. Please note that the University of London does not accept many awards that are now listed on the, that does accept many awards that are now listed on the website. Sorry, just to confirm. Please note that the University of London does accept many awards that are now listed on the website and that are not listed on the website, such as non-listed school qualifications, diplomas, and professional awards. Applications are now open and the deadline for applications is the 11th of September. So make sure you do this as soon as possible. It could take the University of London up to 15 business days to process your application. The application fee for 2023 cohort is £60. To complete your application, you'll need a scanned copy of your professional identification, birth certificate, passport, national identification card, or naturalization certificate. Scanned copies of your official academic transcripts and translated copies if needed. It can be signed and stamped by an official translator. Evidence of English proficiency is also needed if English is not your first language. Ankit, if you could please drop in the chat the how to apply English language requirements. A supporting statement is also required describing why you want to take this program. This will be your opportunity to showcase the University of London why you wish to study for this program. Please give your reasons. You should include details about your education, work experience, and current responsibilities, which are relevant to this application. It is recommended that you write somewhere between 100 and 250 words. If you would like your employment to be considered as part of your application, you may upload a CV or resume, but that is completely up to you. Next slide, please. This is how the application process looks like. First of all, you are welcome to book a meeting with us to discuss your application, program, and all the documents in more detail. When you're ready to start your application, please go to Coursera website and click on the blue Apply Now button, which will take you to the University of London application. The first question you'll be asked when you start your application is whether you want to apply for standard or performance-based entry. To understand which route is best for you, make sure you check your country's requirements by following the link we shared in the chat box. If you satisfy those requirements, choose standard entry. Otherwise, please choose performance-based. The difference between them is that you get accepted into the performance-based admission. You will need to complete one module with a weighted average of 40% or above before progressing onto the rest of the program. The application itself is pretty straightforward. Please prepare all the documents we spoke about in advance, and then it shouldn't take more than about 30 minutes to complete your application. Make sure you submit your application before September the 11th. After submissions, please check your email box regularly, as the University of London might ask for some additional information. You will shortly receive an email with their decision and further instructions. If you have any questions or concerns regarding the application, feel free to reach out to Enrolment Services team at any stage of your application process. We'll be sharing a link to book meetings with an enrolment counsellor towards the end of the webinar. Next slide, please. For those who have already been accepted, the next stage is registration. When you're ready to register for your modules, for which the deadline is September the 25th, log into your student portal using the login details the university emailed to you. Once you've logged into your student portal, click the Register Now button, and you'll be able to see which modules are offered in the session and register. You can study up to 2 new modules per session. In addition to this, you can resit assessments and repeat modules if necessary. It is strongly recommended you take Foundations of Quantitative Methods for Sustainable Organizations and Interpreting Management, Market and Consumption during your first term. To complete your registration, you need to pay for the modules. The total cost of the program is depending on your location. Ankit will now share a link with the country bands in the chat box. So you can check for yourself if your country is a band A, which means you'll pay £14,088, or a band B, where you'll pay £18,868. Also, I would like you to know that you don't have to pay these fees straight away. You pay as you go for each module you take, so the fees will be divided between the years you study. After you've registered and paid for your modules, you'll receive your university email address and an invite to link to your Coursera account to your degree program. There you'll see the orientation courses and you'll need to complete before classes begin. The course covers everything you need to know to start the program and to make the best use of your studies step by step. It will go over program policies, how to navigate Coursera, communication channels to seek help, and how to connect with other students. You should allow up to 6 hours to complete the course. Once you've completed that orientation, you'll receive access to your modules when your teaching session begins on October 9th. You'll have access to all of your study materials at the start of your session, except for some assessments and final exams, which may be locked for a certain date and time. Next slide, please. The indicative tools and totals for this program is 14,088 to 18,868, depending on your geographical location of Band A or Band B. Please note, tuition is based on where you are living currently and not based on nationality. These totals include the application fee and the average annual fee increases, and assume that the students complete the qualification within the minimum time without resits and APL. On average, the University of London fees incur a 5% year-on-year increase. Students can also pay as you go. The pay as you go module for 2023-24, the Band B countries by module will be £1,113. This would make the total cost of the course about £13,356, or the Band B countries where each module is £1,482, which would make the total cost of the course about £17,784. Learners can pay their fees via the online portal, in person and offline. Now, paying online, you can pay by credit or debit card, bank transfer, or Flywire. Or you can pay offline via Western Union, where you can quick pay by Sterling Bankers draft or cheque. The University of London offers a number of scholarships and bursaries for the students. The best way to go about this is for you to check the university website to see if there is anything that you may be eligible for. Ankit will now share a link to financial aid options in the chat box. Please note that generally, you can apply for scholarships or bursaries only once you've been accepted into the program. Please note that the full programme fee is not available to the students residing in the UK who access student loans companies' funding. These students should instead pay by module. Next slide, please, Naomi. Now let's talk about the degree itself and your possible career paths in more detail. Next slide, please, Naomi. The BSc in Marketing is a standard bachelor's degree in the UK. The University of London holds the standards of the programme to the same expectations as any other UK marketing degree. The marketing level and the objectives are aligned with UK benchmarks. Your degree certificate will not mention Coursera or the fact that this was completed online. The University of London understands that the UK degree is typically accepted for entering master's programmes worldwide. But since some countries' education systems are structured differently, I'd recommend contacting the admissions department of the specific universities you are interested in to see which requirements they have and if there's a grade you need to achieve. If you require any documents for your application, you can contact the university for assistance. Next slide, please, Naomi. There are many different possibilities of careers upon your graduation. You can see some examples of this, but generally, with all credentials for a globally recognised institution, which the University of London is, you will discover in-demand marketing opportunities at international companies and will be able to fit easily into the roles that collaborate across borders. After studying with learners around the world within this programme, you will cultivate a global mindset, which will allow you to bring your new expertise to businesses around the world. Just to give you an idea, on-campus students have graduated and moved on to companies from Royal Holloway and have gone into companies such as Versace, Barclays, Nissan, Deloitte, Xerox, and Goldman Sachs. As graduates of this programme, you'll be able to gain an understanding of the organisation, its functions, and the context of business, leading to the multifaceted appreciation of marketing and other management disciplines. Understanding contemporary perspectives on marketing and disciplines and its implications for firms, industries, and societies. And learn the strategies and operational facets of marketing sets within the context of globalization and its implications for the marketing management and consumerism. Gaining the ability to analyze real-life problems facing actual businesses and evaluate the effectiveness and limitations of different marketing and management decisions and solutions. Upon your graduation, you'll also become part of the university's alumni network, which unites all the University of London alumni worldwide. It will provide you with some great networking opportunities. For career support, the university works closely with the Careers Group, a university service to offer a range of fantastic online resources to maximize your experience. Resources include video tutorials on interview preparation, technical resume writing, building your LinkedIn and personal branding. They also host great career webinars twice a week throughout the year. So I highly encourage you to attend at least one of those. Next slide, please, Naomi. Now we have a live Q&A with Mohammed. So please introduce yourself. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Mohammed Junaid, and I'm a student of BSc Marketing, and I've joined the 2022 October batch. I'm currently pursuing my second term of BSc Marketing.
Wonderful. Next slide, please. So how did you decide to study for a degree online? What were the major benefits of studying online for you?
Absolutely. So one of the major reasons for me to choose a online format for the degree is I'm currently working, and I'm working marketing professional. And for me to not jeopardize my work and parallelly continue with my education, I believed online education is one way to go, because online provides me much more flexibility of my own time, and I can manage both of them together. So that's basically one reason which I've chosen the degree online. And secondly, the major benefits which I believe is I've been a student of an on-campus degree before, and unfortunately I couldn't complete that. I'll give you an example of what happened in my on-campus degree. I came around with close to 22, 23 backlogs when I completed. But with the online degree, in fact, I have in my first term, I got close to like 75, 80% in my both of the terms. I've got 60 credits in my first term. So the experience of online is something which is something which is phenomenal. You're not just going through the videos, you're not just going through the lectures, but as a experience, whatever you are learning from it, it's something which is practically applicable in the real life scenario. I've had a lot of opportunities, a lot of learnings from the degree itself, which I've applied into my current job. And the online format, like I said, it's the format and the way that the program is completely engineered. It's way better than the on-campus degree itself. And pointing out that's one major benefit. And secondly, like I said, the benefit for me was uh, continuing my job. I do not have to. I wanted to do it both together. So online being an online degree provides me that sort of a flexibility to do both of them together. So probably, yeah, that's majorly the reason why I've chosen an online degree.
Wonderful. Next slide, please. So what specifically attracted you to the University of London and the bachelor's degree in marketing?
Absolutely. So the University of London, basically, I think the degree, the university itself is one of the major motivator. This is a federal institution, one of the globally recognized institution across the world. And this is being recognized by a lot of institutions. So that factor, the University of London factor, was the prime motivation for me, which attracted to this degree. And I wanted to create a solid profile for myself, for my career growth in the future. So that's why I've chosen a University of London in the first place, and specifically in marketing, because I'm a marketing professional, and the bachelor's degree in marketing, I felt that that will help me more, a better prospect for a career progression in the future. So for me, it was marketing to go for an option. Yeah.
Brilliant. Next slide, please. So how did you find the application process? And do you have any top tips for those wanting to apply for October 2023?
Absolutely. I think the application process was quite smooth. I had an enrollment counselor which helped me a lot in my initial process, and she gave me clear tips what can be helpful in the application process. So it was quite smooth. I've submitted my application. I gave a strong SOP which suggested by the enrollment counselor, and after that uh, pretty much like 15-20 days that I've waited for the offer, and I've received the offer, and the process was pretty much smooth. There was no specific delays in the process as well. Now, if you ask about one tip, I would say I can provide two tips basically. One is having a strong SOP, right? It gives a lot of weightage to the application process. If you are providing a strong SOP will actually have what you want to do with the degree, why you're choosing the degree, and what are you expecting from the degree. So if you have the university really, what I understood based on the application process, and of course the assessments down the line, what I understood is that the university really appreciates the originality of thought. You're not copying anything from the internet. If you're not copying from anywhere across, you're bringing your own thought into the application, they will get to know about it, and they really appreciates that. So if you have your own examples in your career, if you have your own examples that you can link with, align yourself with the application, that will be the best thing. So for example, I what I did was I give specific examples of marketing. I had specific gaps in understanding stuff. So I linked that into the university curriculum, which said that, there are X and X subjects in the university, which actually will help me to be better marketer. So that's what I did. And that helped me a lot in the getting an admission. And secondly, one other advice, one tip would be, there are two ways that you can get the admission. One is the performance based, and one is the direct entry. So uh, one of the discussions when I had with the enrollment counselor, she suggested that you can put your application directly into the direct entry option and not into the performance entry, because the university will verify your application if and only if you're not meeting the direct entry eligibility, then you will be automatically considered for the performance entry. So if you have a background in bachelor's degree before, or if you have a solid work experience, you can definitely put it put in a direct entry option. So if not, if you're not being eligible, the university will be putting you in the performance entry. So this would be the two tips that I would say with the application.
Wonderful. Next slide, please. How have you found the academic and student support from the University of London?
So, I think the academic support was something which is really good. We have the professors carries, the way that we are explaining each topic is something which is, very simple, and, from people coming from any specific background, you do not have to be, a marketing background person in order to understand the content. It's as simple as that. And all your questions and concerns will be clear. So you have multiple options, multiple streams where you can clear your questions. One is directly with the tutors. You have a live sessions conducted by the tutors. You can raise any questions or concerns. They will be providing you support there, live support. And secondly, there is discussion forums where the facilitators are the your peer members within the program will also help you in that. And you have a direct and anything within technical or anything which is based on not accessing the content or anything related to the Coursera platform, you will have a two ways. Like, one is the learner services through Coursera, and second one is there is a direct email from University of London where you can reach out. So interestingly, this again will be redirecting to the Coursera first, and then if the respective, they will be transferring it to the respective team, and the problem will be resolved within 24 to 48 hours. So you have a solid support. And outside of that, as a student, you will have a lot of network, connecting opportunities. You have Slacks, Slack, you have specific groups, student groups where you can interact with each other. And there are WhatsApp groups, which is created by students, right? So there is no tutors and nobody outside. So, and we often have like the people that I'm with in my the people who are in the batch together. We often connect and discuss the topics. We are, we teach each other, we share each other's point of view, and we study like that. So the support is really, really good. And both the academic and the student support is something which is really good for the program.
Sounds like there's really nice support, both academically online and then offline with the students as well, which is really nice to hear.
Absolutely.
So, next slide, please.
Yeah.
What is the student community like when studying online? I think we've just covered a little bit of that, but please tell us more.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just love the community of students. The major thing is that so I'm basically from India, and whenever I'm going for a Indian university, I most likely be, connected with, like, most of the applicants will be there, like domestic candidates, right? You have little exposure there, but I think one of the benefits here being an online degree is that the program is expanded with multinational students, right? It's expanded. The exposure will be so much high. You get applicants from, Egypt, Turkey. You will get applicants from US, Canada, or Pakistan, or Netherlands. Like, all the countries, we have a lot of countries. We have people from Nigeria. We have people from different countries. So the community is something which is phenomenal. It's a diverse community, and you get to experience a lot of people, their history, their backgrounds, where are they coming from. It's an amazing, I think, to connect with the student community. So yeah, I just love the student community of University of London.
Next slide, please. What has been your biggest challenge so far, and how have you overcome it? And how do you manage it?
Absolutely. So the biggest challenge for me has been, the managing the time for it. Like I said, I'm a working professional, so I'm committing close to 40 to 45 hours per week, and for my job. And on top of that, I wanted to, the degree also is a little bit time demanding as well. So initially, it was something which is what the first term I selected two subjects entitled to 60 credits in total. So I work like close to 6 to 8 hours. Then I spend 2 to 3 hours per day to work on my studies. So providing time for the degree has been one of my biggest challenges initially, but you get used to it. Like when you're starting the program, it will be much more harder, but when you are getting used to it, over time you will adjust to your time to manage it, and you will be smarter at managing your time. And now if you look at it, I just like spend probably my all my Saturdays and Sundays spending to the my studies, and the rest of the day I would not be looking at my university, my studies at all. So that's how I'm managing right now. So I think like that has been my challenge, and that's how I'm managing right now.
Brilliant. It does sound like it's a very manageable course to do. So next slide, please. Can you summarize your experience so far in 3 words?
I think I can just say I just love it. I think this is a overwhelming experience altogether. You, I think one of the experiences about I can share with one example that the experience that I had with the degree. So we have a subject. So just now when you run the slide, there was a slide specifically for management by metaphors, right? So I went through that course, and one of the ways within that management as metaphors, there is one subject which we call as management as music, right? So how I studied this is within this management as music, there are two different ways where you're two different aspects for it. One is management as jazz music, and one management as orchestra, right? So for me, I was not exposed to such things. Like I don't know what is orchestra and what is jazz music. So how I learned is like how they are providing the lectures are like they're asking me to go to YouTube and figure out find a video which is orchestra, find a jazz music video and write notes. Like let's assume that this is a management institution, and let's see like how the orchestra is playing, and like take notes from it. So I'm observing the orchestra, and I'm just looking at it, and I understand that this is like a more structured way. This is like more, there is low margin for error. And I understood that that's one way of management. And I can relate that a lot to my working environment. And then there is another one. This is jazz music, where one person is starting the music, one instrument. There is one other person who is like adapting to it, and create there at the end there is like a beautiful music coming out of it. So these are two different ways of management, and I'm learning it through finding videos on YouTube, and there is an explanation by the tutor. So it's a whole different experience. And even if it is like 10 years or 15 years from now, if somebody is asking me on my sleep, like what is management in music, I would not forget what is management as music, and what is orchestra, and what is the jazz music. So that's a kind of experience that you go through. Typically when you're on an on-campus university, you are like studying the day before your exam, and you're like going for the exam, and just like you're trying to get as much as you can. But here it's like it's a series of experiences. It's a series of you're learning by doing it, right? And at the end, there is no specific time that you are separate time that you are focusing on it. You'll have all the information ready before you're entering the exam. So the experience has been something which is phenomenal, I would say, so far.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I've even learned something myself, which is nice to hear. And then final question we have for you is, do you have any last advice for prospective students on who will be joining our October 2023 cohort?
Absolutely. So I believe you would have already had your research done with the university. You would have figured out whether this is the right fit or not for you to join the program. But one thing which I would specifically wanted to say is, if you're stuck with a stage where you feel it's overwhelming, that how will you're on a question that how will I manage time for it? Will I have enough? Will I be able to manage? Is it a huge commitment that I have to put in for 3 years? I've been in there. I have had that experience. I had a lot of doubts in my head before I joining in. But once you step in, once you have put your first step, then probably you will adjust to the fact, and you will have, you will have the capacity to complete it. Like, I never thought I would get like 80-85% just while working my full-time job and parallelly doing my degree. I'm getting 80-85%. That's so I never thought about it, and I'm not an amazing student, even my on campus degree as well. So if you are stuck at there, I think probably it's it's not that hard, or it's something which is manageable. If I can do it, I believe anybody who is a working professional or anybody going through any hardships can probably do the same thing. I think you're on mute.
Sorry. Well, thank you for answering our sort of pre-submitted questions. We do have a Q&A section now. I think Ankit's been answering all the questions in the background, so there aren't currently any questions within it, but we'll just give it a minute or two to see if anyone has any questions. So if you have any questions for myself as an enrollment counsellor or Mohammed as a student, please do put them into the chat now. As well as that, if you have any questions afterwards about either your application or the course itself, and you would like to book in some time with an enrollment counsellor, please click the QR code, or Ankit will also be sharing a link to his Chili Piper. So he's been the one answering your questions in the background. He will be here to follow up with anyone. So please do book in some time to book in a meeting with him, and he is here to help you with all your further questions. So let's just see the Q&A. The first question is, where will we get the degree in the uni physically? Do you want to answer that one, or shall I take that?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So the thing is, you will get a physical degree certificate once you complete it. You will have a proper convocation process in the university directly. So this university, so the degree certificate will be University of London, like that will be the awarding body, and under that it will mention that this is powered by, or like the institution will be Royal Holloway University. So you will have a proper convocation process while you're getting your final certificate, but it's an optional. I think like you will also have an option to get your e-certificate once you complete it as well. So it's a complete option process.
Yeah, just to sort of say that. So there are two sort of options for gaining the certificate. So we do hold a graduation ceremony, which will be held. Actually, it's not held at the University of London. There's a big orchestra hall, weirdly. As you were talking about orchestras, big music hall called the Barbican Centre, which is in central London. It will be held on the same day as with all the campus students. You'll go down to the Barbican Centre and we do a physical graduation ceremony. Obviously, that is in the UK. So if you can't attend, we will also be hosting an online ceremony where we will send out certificates. So you will get the physical certificate with the stamp and the signature on, as you would need for the legal requirements. So whether you can or can't, there are two different options for graduation ceremonies. Let me just have a look. So we've got a question. Why are there two universities, the University of London and Royal Holloway? So the University of London is the administrative and degree awarding body, whereas Royal Holloway is part of 17 independent member institutions, which form the federation, which is the University of London. So the Royal Holloway will be giving academic direction, but the awarding body will be the University of London. Can I transfer some credits from my prior studies, and how do I do that? There is an option to do that. The University of London recognises credits from other universities worldwide, and in most cases, it's not automatic. You will need to apply for recognition of prior learning, where you'll have to submit previous study. In most cases, this would have to be bachelor's level. So if you've started a bachelor's level degree and you have done similar modules, then you can apply. But if it's just that you've done some short courses in the area, it probably won't meet the requirements for it. There is also a non-refundable fee of £125 per module that you would like looked at for recognition of prior learning. I've got a question for you, Mohammed, which is how much we have to being Indian for the whole course. Is it possible to get aid?
Yeah, so I'm not very sure about the financial aid opportunities for Indian students. Probably you can connect with your enrollment team in Coursera for that. But for me personally, it was my company sponsorship. I am currently pursuing my degree under my company sponsorship. So probably you can connect with the Coursera team to know more about it.
Yeah, well, once again, if you book in some time via the QR link, then Ankit will be able to go through anything like that with you. We have about 7 minutes left. There aren't any more questions in the chat. So we'll just give it 1 more minute, see if anyone has any final questions. And if not, we can all have a few minutes back. We have another question. The least time we can complete the degree in, I believe that's 3 years is the minimum. It can be extended to a longer period, but 3 years is the very minimum to do the course. It can't be condensed any more than that. Okay, well, we're a few minutes early, but here on the final slide, sorry, Naomi, you can find the key dates for the fall 2023 cohort. We'll send out a recording of this webinar to you in the follow-up email, and you can schedule an appointment with Ankit. I just want to say thank you again for everyone who's attended. Thank you, Mohammed, for your time today and for all your wonderful answers. And thank you, Naomi and Ankit, for all your help today. And thank you for everyone for attending the webinar. And once again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And thank you for attending.